Hello, Troop 516. This is Mr. Duncan, the fourth best knot tire in the troop. I'm here to teach you another knot today. Gabe is running the video. He told me that he loves to help new scouts tie knots. It's one of his favorite things. And he also reminded me of another great scout who's a great knot tire in our troop. His name's Colin. He's your senior patrol leader. Colin, I think, knows every knot there ever was. And he's such a good knot tire. On occasion at campouts and summer camps, I've seen him just pick up a random piece of rope and walk around and tie knots and tie Turk's head woggle knots. I've seen him tie monkey fist knots and other kinds of decorative knots. He's really great. He's a lot better than me. If you ever get stuck, feel free to go talk to Colin. He's really good at what he does. So thanks, Gabe, for reminding me. Today I'm going to show you a knot you probably already know, but I'm going to show you a couple of different things too. I'm going to show you first of all the square knot. Gabe, come around here where you can see me. Square knot's probably something you already know and you're already really good at it. I'm just going to tie it onto my favorite piece of bamboo. It's real simple. I just take my right hand, place the string on the right hand side over the left, and then run it underneath, cinch it down. And then I take my left hand piece and lay it over the right hand piece, run it underneath, and pull it down. Probably everybody who's watching this video can do that knot. You've done it a million times. But let me show you this. This is the way I tie my hiking boots. I don't tie them in a bow knot. I tie them in a square knot. And when I'm done, to get them loose, watch what I can do. I can grab one side, say the left-hand side, and pull it hard to the right. And that forms what's known as a Larks Head. I'll show you Larks Head in just a second. And then it's just easy to pull that rope right on through, and it comes undone just that fast. That will work even if your boots get wet, even if your boot laces or strings get wet. Let's do that again. Tie it, right over left, and then underneath, left over right, and then underneath, and that's your square knot. And the easiest way I found to untie a square knot when I'm ready to take my boots off, for example, is to grab one side and pull it, forming a lark's head, and then you can just pull it on loose. All right, so you might say, Mr. Duncan, what is a lark's head? Well, lark's head is just about the simplest knot possible. It looks like this. I make a bight. A bight is just a bend, B-I-G-H-T, not biting like a dog biting, but a B-I-G-H-T bite, a bend, and then I just run the other ends through it. That is called a lark's head. Just about the simplest knot possible. You see that? So when I do right over left, left over right, square knot. Untie it, lark's head. See lark's head right there? And pull it on through. Works even if your shoelaces are wet. All right, now I'm going to show you a little thing I learned. I don't remember who showed me this. Oh, I didn't show you my books. Here's a bunch of books that I've gathered for tying knots. This is a publication of the Boy Scouts of America called Knots and How to Tie Them. All kinds of interesting stuff. Mainly the scouts that mainly the knots that scouts would be interested in. Here's an old copy of the Pioneering Merit Badge for building structures out of lashings. Lashings are a lot of fun, but you got to know a few knots before you can tie lashings. Clove hitch is key to being successful with lashings. Here's another book called Top Knots. I don't remember where I got this. I might have got this at our Boy Scout tent sale. Lots of knots in here. Here's a book I got for Christmas a few years ago. It's called The Ultimate Encyclopedia of Knots and Rope Work. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of pictures and tutorials on how to tie knots. But these books here are small compared to possibly the most boring book that was ever written. It's called the Ashley Book of Knots. The Ashley Book of Knots, if you printed it out, would probably be as big as a phone book. And it's not really a how-to book. It's mostly a catalog of pictures, diagrams, drawings of knots and their names. Mr. Ashley had an obsession, I think, with cataloging knots. And I've heard it said that if you invent a knot and you can't find it in the Ashley Book of Knots, then you get to name it. And I've heard that there's one or two people in our troop that have actually named knots. They're that good. Remember, I'm only the fourth best. Anyway, I was going to show you a trick that somebody showed me along the line. Let's do a simple square knot. Right over left. Right over left. Then underneath. And then left over right. That's a simple square knot. Now you notice with this knot, both of the loose ends are on the same side of the loop. You see that? That's a square knot. Back in the old days, before there was cellophane tape and such things, if you wanted to mail a package, probably what you would do is you would wrap your package in brown paper and then you would tie it all together with twine. Well, you could tie a knot that was similar to the square knot, and it's called the thief knot. And it's a little different than the square knot. And if somebody tampered with your package and hurriedly tied it back with a square knot, you could tell. So this is the way you tie a thief knot. You start with a bite. Bite's just a bend. And then I take my running end, I run it from the back through my hole. See there? And then I run it around the back of my main loop. You see that? And then back through my loop one more time. And I pull it together. Now, at first glance, that looks a lot like a square knot, doesn't it? But look here. Now I've got one loose end on the outside of the loop and one loose end on the inside of the loop. Look at my square knot. The square knot has loose ends both on the outside of the loop. You see that? You see the difference there? This is the square knot. This is the thief knot. This is just a teensy bit harder to tie, but if a thief tampered with your package and hurriedly tied it back with a square knot, you could tell that somebody had tampered with your package. Let's do this one more time. You start with a bite, like that. You take your running end, you stick it through from the back, and you run it around the back of your loop. Then you stick it back through the hole. Pull it snug. See there? Thief knot. You'll probably never have need to tie a thief knot, but I thought somebody showed that to me and I thought it was pretty interesting and I thought you might like it too. So that's all for today. We'll see what we come up with for the next video. This is Mr. Duncan saying goodbye fourth best knot tire in Troop 516. Bye-bye.